All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Monday. Hope you're all doing well. Monday, October the 11th, 2021. Appreciate you all tuning in. We're taking your questions, your comments, your calls. Of course, I'm Chris Phillips of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show as always, but your questions, comments, calls here on a Monday, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. And folks, today is a day we are all too familiar with. It is Therapy Monday. So you want to hash it out? You want to call in? I'd love to hear from you. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Again, of course, guys, we got a lot to get into here on a Monday. Before we do, though, I want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies, but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms where they represented hundreds of clients at a time. And guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand you're not just a line number, you're not just a number, you're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. Guys, they're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family. They're going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. You've been involved in any type of accident, no matter what it is. The last thing you should be worried about and dealing with is dealing with paperwork, the insurance company themselves. Let the experts over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm handle it for you, guys. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient yet effective. Again, let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia. Curtis is in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today in Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, guys, your one-stop shop, their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, it's our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Be sure to check them out. And also, by the way, before I forget, be sure to check out our giveaway going on right now with our friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Appreciate those guys. We're actually giving away 2 tickets to Saturday's game. We're running the giveaway exclusively through Instagram. So, yes, if you need tickets to Saturday's homecoming game against Vanderbilt, we are giving away 2 tickets. Really good seats, by the way. So, again, make sure you check that out and you participate. We'll be picking a winner on Friday. And, again, I appreciate our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm for making that a possibility. So, check out the giveaway. You need tickets. You can score a pair and go to the homecoming game Saturday against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Okay, 843-790-3377, guys. That is 843-790-3377. Also, if you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to the TDC Questions channel. The TDC Questions channel to be sure that your questions are answered. I see Brennan M in there already. He says, Therapy Monday. At least I was at the band competition and not having to suffer through the game. Yeah, what a game it was. I told you blinked, and it was 14-0. You blinked again, it was 28-0. Cody Gaskins, appreciate you coming out. Yeah, everyone who came out in Somerville, by the way, we had a blast at the Carolina Ale House in Somerville. Again, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come out. It was awesome hanging out with you all and rocking and rolling and supporting the Gamecocks, and got to meet some great Gamecocks and talk with you all. And again, really hope to get back down there again soon. And even if it's not for a watch party, maybe we'll do a watch party for like basketball or something. I don't know. I think that'd be really fun and really cool. But no, seriously, those who came out and those who continue to show love and support and come out to the watch parties and the events, truly appreciate you guys, because without you all, I mean, it wouldn't be a success. You know what I mean? So thank you all so much for coming out, and wish the result would have been a little bit different. I know we all do, but thank you guys so much for the continued love and support. I see Travis Rowell, Travis Hill, Tyro Campbell Sr., Wesley, Brennan M., Jordan Bray, Kevin Cox, my guy Cody Gaskins, Lindsey Hagler, the DGD podcast, Todd Smith. What's up, guys? Therapy Monday, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. And guys, I'll say this, by the way, let's start with this, because all the conversation or most of it today is around Marcus Satterfield and the coaching staff, this, that, whatever. And I'm already seeing some stuff on social media, specifically Facebook, people sending me screenshots of, things a staff member, a guy I know who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy said this about what Marcus Satterfield's doing. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. I think it's very dangerous, though, to cling to Facebook group accusations about the people on South Carolina's football staff, if that makes sense. So I'm taking it all with a grain of salt. No offense to anyone. They could have the best sources and the best info out there, but I'm taking all of that with a grain of salt, man. I'm not going to look at that and draw conclusions off of what some random person on Facebook has to say. So anyways, guys, again, your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Would love to hear from you. We should be finding out here shortly the kickoff time for South Carolina's game against Texas A&M, which, by the way, in case you did not know, I'll tell you guys, I'm very curious to know what the kickoff time is because I know we got Vandy this weekend at home, and, of course, really excited to get back at Willie B. But the following weekend, the watch party hits the road yet again. Very excited to say, in case you missed it, we will be back in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. Really excited to go back to their location and host a watch party yet again. It was a massive success the first time, so we figured, why not? We'll go back. So we will be back there for the Texas A&M game on Saturday, October the 23rd. So if you're in the upstate, again, upstate Gamecocks, putting on for the upstate Gamecocks, would love to have you guys come out. Going to be a really, really good time. Like I said, it was a massive success the first time we were out there. So again, come on out Saturday, October the 23rd, downtown Greenville. We'll be out there. All right, let's get into your questions here. Gamecock 68 in the TDC questions channel says, where was E.J. Jenkins, or was I so mad I didn't notice he played? He played sparingly, but he certainly did not see the amount of reps that I thought he was going to see, if we're being totally honest. Brendan M., what do we think the A&M kickoff time will be? That's the interesting question, Brendan, because, let's just assume that things go according to what Vegas is saying, which, by the way, in case you missed it, Gamecocks right now sit as the last I checked, it was a 20-point favorite over the Vanderbilt Commodores. A 20-point favorite, which I know many of you scoff at that. Hey, that number's actually come down. 18-point favorites now. South Carolina, an 18-point favorite in that football game. Let's say the game goes according to Vegas. You're going to go into the A&M game at 4-3. And, of course, the Aggies just beat Alabama, which what a crazy weekend of college football it was, by the way. I mean, if you're just purely a college football fan, what an incredible weekend it was. I mean, you really couldn't have asked for a better weekend of college football. But again, the Gamecocks 18-point favorites this weekend. So you'll come in that game 4-3 most likely. A&M just beat Bama. I mean, do you get an afternoon? I mean, listen, here's the thing. You're at their place. You don't want a night game. You don't want a night game in regards to that is concerned. So, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't love noon kickoffs, but if the games are going to be on the road, I'd almost just rather them be at noon. I mean, you're not getting, and if you're not going to the road game, it's like I'm not getting the benefit of the game being at night and being able to tailgate all day and all that good stuff. So I'd just rather the game be at noon, to be honest. But who knows? We'll see. We'll find out. Should find out in the next hour or so. Also, if you're a Braves fan like I am, Braves first pitch at 1:07. Which is such a very strange first pitch time, but 1:07, the first pitch will be happening. Brian Jordan, which alehouse will be for the A&M game? Like I said, downtown Greenville, South Carolina. Greg Bedinger, what's up, my guy? Bad Brad says, good week to get better. Yeah, you don't have a choice. You got to get better. Kevin Cox, as long as we see some kind of change on offense, I need to know that they're trying something. Get Coach Satt out of the booth and onto the sideline might not be the answer, but it is something. Something's got to change offensively. I'll tell you this, though, too. And again, I'm not trying to dog on them, or I'm not even trying to take the attention away from, hey, things are not good enough offensively. But why is no one talking about how bad the defense looked Saturday? I mean, the defense, granted, I know South Carolina did no favors and turned the football over twice in the first half, but I was shocked how bad. I mean, I was shocked how bad the defense looked. And I know you had, 6 or 7 sacks on the defensive line, so tip your cap there and give credit. But Tennessee moved the football at will. So, I was very surprised. The loss of Cam Smith obviously killed you. It obviously hurt much more than we realized. And, they had no issues. So, Great Bisbee says, thought Tennessee was a dumpster fire. No new recruits. Well, they landed a couple guys in the transfer portal that have really panned out for them. So, the guys they've landed have been home runs. So, that's all you can really say. Again, 843-790-3377. Guys, would love to hear from you all, taking your questions, comments, calls. Let's see. The DGD podcast says, get things back on track this weekend. Yeah, you have to. Home game against Vandy, homecoming Perfect opportunity for a struggling South Carolina football team to get a big win, to, I was going to say flex its muscles a little bit, but just get a big win and have something to feel good about. That's literally it. Just build some confidence. You need it. You desperately, desperately need it. No question. So you desperately need it. Let's see. Noah Johnson had a hell of a time in Knoxville this weekend besides the result of the game. He says Nealon was going damn crazy and singing that damn Rocky Top song probably 100 times. I'll tell you this, man. I really, and Noah, I tip my cap to you and everyone who made the trip, because I really felt for the Gamecocks who made that trip to Knoxville. I mean, to watch that performance, especially in that first half, hey, I'll always love my team. But if you're going to put on that kind of performance, I'd rather not go. I'd rather not spend the money for lodging, for food, for gas, for tickets, for all of it. So I really felt for the Gamecocks fan base, the part of the fan base that went up to the game, because there was a fair number, I think, that traveled. There was a fair number that traveled. So, hey, tip my cap to all of you. You guys are the real MVPs. Brian Bennett says, has anyone ever thought to think that maybe our roster is just not good? I don't think it's the play calling. I think with the offense Beamer and Sat wants to run, this is not suited for this line. I can finally say our linemen are not good. It's a plethora of things. It's a mix of things. It's not just – I refuse to believe it's just one thing. It's not just coaching. Nick Saban could be coaching this football team and they'd be 3-3 right now. You know, I mean, it's not just one thing. It's not. I think it's lazy to only blame coaching. Certainly coaches should be held accountable because they're the ones making millions of dollars. But, I mean, it's not a great roster, guys. We know it's not a great roster. You know, I think Gamecock fans, hey, what do they say? The first step is acceptance, right? And there's just a lot of our fans, not a lot, I'll say some, that just can't accept that we're just not quite. I mean, this roster isn't like the 2010 roster, the 2011 roster, or 12. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that people can compute that and understand that. I understand what recruiting rankings said when Will Muschamp was here, but hey, were those guys really as good as the rankings said they were? I don't know. I don't know. Was it a misevaluation on the recruiting trail? You know, we talked to Brad Lowing about this. Was it a misevaluation? Obviously, guys were underdeveloped, but was there a bad evaluation in recruiting? I don't know, man. I don't know. And what the tough thing for Shane Beamer is he can't come out and say that. He can't come out and say to Gamecock fans because, again, here's the thing. Gamecock fans want to blame something. They need to blame something, right? What's interesting is like the culture of football versus every other sport. In baseball, we can just say, tip your cap. The guy was better than us that night. He beat us. He beat us. Is what it is. We'll get him next time. Football fans cannot deal with that answer. They cannot. Folks like Ritter, folks like everybody else, a lot of others, they can't deal with that answer. They need to point to something to blame something, whether it's somebody's got to be fired, somebody's got to be benched, some ref's got to be expelled from ever calling into the game ever again. Blame has to be placed somewhere. It's got to be placed somewhere for people. There is no tip your cap in the game of football. But Shane Beamer can't come out and just say, well, we're just not good enough right now. Our roster's just not very good. Because then he's going to lose the locker room. Then he loses the football team. You can't say that out loud. But in reality, that's part of the problem. Yeah, is it the whole thing? Are there some coaching issues right now? Sure, certainly. But it's coaching, it's personnel, it's execution. I mean, it's everything. It's everything. It's not just one thing. So that's just my opinion. It's not just one thing. The secondary on Saturday looked very much how I expected it to in the preseason. And especially when you lose Cam Smith, you know, it's just a ragtag bunch, man. And especially in the back half, it's a ragtag bunch. So you got to get better players. You got to go recruit. It's going to take time. Bottom line, it's okay. It is what it is. It's no knock on Shane Beamer. It's no knock on, you know, the guys on the roster. It just is what it is. You just are what you are. You are what your record says you are, which is a 3-3 football team. And honestly, again, I talked on the podcast today, which, by the way, go check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 515. But I talked about what was my biggest takeaway from the game. My biggest takeaway. And it was hard because I'm like, did we learn anything? And then for me, there were so many different takeaways, so many different directions you could go. And so I landed on, I think Tennessee's actually ahead of schedule. Hell, they've done a really good job. Josh Heupel, everybody they hit on in the transfer portal looks like studs, you know what I mean? But for South Carolina, we just honestly, we're a ragtag roster with a bunch of first-year coaches. That's what we look like. I mean, that's what we look like. I mean, that's the recipe right there. That's the recipe. That's what we look like. That's who we are, and it's okay. You didn't hire Shane Beamer to win 9 games in year one. That's not why you hired him. You could have hired somebody else if the goal was to go 8-4 in year one. I mean, but that's not why you hired him. You hired him in hopes that by year 4, 5, 6, he will be evolving into an elite football coach, and by that time, the talent will start to match. And all of a sudden, things are happening on the field of play. But again, guys, you're just not going to see me get all worked up, fire this guy, fire that guy. It is year one with this roster that ain't even theirs. It's not even their roster. Not their recruits, I should say. So we're a ragtag bunch of Gamecocks with a bunch of first-year coaches. I mean, that's it. That's what we are. That's what we are. We are who we are, and that's okay, but that is who we are. Bottom line. So I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what people thought they were signing up for when Shane Beamer got the job. I'm not saying Shane Beamer's a terrible coach, but you know, we're making some mistakes where it's like, hey, that's a first-year head coach mistake. You know? You lose to Kentucky, why are you shocked? First-year head coach against a ninth-year head coach. I'm not surprised. Ninth-year culture versus first-year culture. Why are you surprised? I'm just genuinely not surprised. 3-3 is about right for this football team. I picked a 4-2 and then 5-2 start, and I even thought to myself in the preseason when I picked, I was like, man, 5-2 feels really aggressive for a football team that's won a combined 6 games the last 2 seasons. But I did, and certainly it could have happened. You had an opportunity to beat Kentucky. I was shocked how much of a blowout the Tennessee game was, but, a 4-3 start feels much more about where this team is. Honestly, feels about much more where this team probably is and probably should be. TDC Questions channel, Keith says, do you think the spread is too high this week? And we'll get more into that later in the week, Keith, but I was surprised to see it quite as high, but I'll tell you this, man, Vandy's terrible. I mean, Vandy's bad. I mean, they're really, really, really bad. Also, we're at home. We're a little bit desperate. We need a bounce-back win. I'm not totally shocked. I'm not totally shocked, but I was surprised to see it open at 17. I can tell you that much. I was like, wow, they're giving us a lot of credit, but home game, homecoming, Vandy's awful. I get it. Gamecock 68 says, please put Joyner on the bench and never, ever, ever let him run a Wildcat again. We have a badass running quarterback. His name is Luke Doty. Yeah, I mean, listen, I like Dak. It's no slight to Dak, but I'm done with the Dak Joyner experiment of trying to make him into a playmaker offensive, because he's not. You're trying to make him into something he's not, and that might be harsh. That might be tough love, but he's not. He's not. Dak Joyner is not an offensive playmaker for South Carolina. So he's not. Is what it is. He's not. So yeah, I would love to see those reps go to somebody else. Let's see. Your questions here. 843-790-3377. Santa Webster, hey, happy Monday, guys. Just tuning in. Beamer's getting flack in sports groups for saying one play would have made us win Saturday. Great Bisbee, we keep getting better. We got to get a breakout win sometime, and we can. Hey, there's 6 more games to go. We're only halfway through the season, which, by the way, guys, stop for a second. We're halfway through the season. Isn't that crazy? I feel like yesterday we just started. So Brian Dean says, we are 3-3, not 2-8. I've seen people saying Beamer's got to go. To you who is saying that, chill out. Beamer's got to build from scratch. We had to raid the transfer portal to field a team when Muschamp left some starters out for the NFL and the transfer portal. Savannah Webster, what's up with Cam? Was any reason given for not traveling? I never heard he wasn't playing for the actual game. Well, he had a head injury against Troy, and I think that just carried over. So, Luke RJ, Beamer said they had their best week of practice for Tennessee. Not a good sign. Well, Luke, you can have your best week of practice and go out there and not play well on Saturday. Hey, it's just like golf, right? You can hit them well in the driving range and play your worst round of your life. Or you can hit it like crap on the driving range and have your career round. That really doesn't mean anything, to be honest with you. So, whatever. It is what it is. Nan Martin, the second half shows us we have a lot to build on, but what the hell? The first quarter was absolutely unbelievable. Our defense looked completely lost. Yeah, that start was just unreal. Just a nightmarish Nightmarish start. So, Twan Love Kick says there's no discipline, soft coaching. And again, I saw your comment this morning, Twan loves kicks. And I guess, your perspective's a lot different if you're somebody you didn't want Beamer here in the first place. So I got nothing for you. So I don't know. If you didn't want Beamer here in the first place, then so be it. You're going to be extra hypercritical of everything. You're going to blame him for everything, even when they're not his players, even when they're not, his recruits. You're going to blame him for everything. Totally fine. It is what it is. But I just got nothing for you, man. I got nothing for you. I guess if you never wanted Beamer from the jump, then yeah, you're going to be pissed off his entire tenure until he proves you wrong and wins. So I guess we'll reconvene when that time comes. So, yep. And you see right here behind me, by the way, all the military guys in here will probably appreciate that. I got a good buddy of mine that he is a veteran of the Air Force. And he shared this sentiment with me that that was something that a lot of the military guys say, just embrace the suck. Embrace the suck. And I think South Carolina right now has to embrace the suck. That's it. I think South Carolina has to embrace the suck. So it's going to suck year one. It might suck year two. You got to embrace the suck, man. You got to trust. You have to trust that things are being built behind closed doors. You have to trust it. What? Unless you're going to trade in your fan card, guys, what other choice do you have? What other choice do you have? I mean, again, I love the passion. And that's what makes Gamecock fans so great. But I don't know, man. I'm certainly not going to spend the first 2, 3, 4 years of the Shane Beamer era bitching and moaning because we're not winning 9 games. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Let's see. John Gibbs says, we just don't have the talent. That's really the bottom line. I still want to see us take chances in all areas of play calling, defense, and offense. Just don't have the talent, folks. And I'll ask you this. Is there any other Gamecock entity saying that? Is there? I don't know. Like, is anybody else willing to say that? I doubt it. I think people probably are dancing around that. See, again, that's the beauty of me not being in the building. That's why I don't want credentials. I don't want to be. I can say that, right? We can just be very blunt and very honest. And it's not even a knock on the guys in the building. It's not. But it's just the reality. Like, I'm not saying our players are terrible, guys. They're not terrible, but, I think fans are thinking with a, my, oh my, how things change around South Carolina football. This isn't 2004 anymore. I remember being a fan in 2004 when South Carolina beat Arkansas to get to 6 wins. You guys remember that? Savell Newton to Troy Williamson, Coast Simpson with the sealer, the pick. I remember when South Carolina beat Arkansas to get to 6 wins. That felt like winning the Super Bowl. Now, bro, we got a taste of success under Spurrier, and fans, I mean, it's just not good enough anymore, which is great. Raising the expectations is great. It's awesome. But I'm kind of like, I mean, do people think that's who we are as a program? Do they think that 3 or 4 year pocket we had under Spurrier? I mean, do y'all think that's what South Carolina is? Because it's not. It's not. South Carolina is a 6-win program. That's what, and right now they're not even that. I'm being very generous saying that. So I don't know. I just think the target is a little bit off for people when they're getting so upset. I mean, what is Shane Beamer doing that hasn't been historically done at this program for the past 100 years? What is he doing that's any different than what's been going on? So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't want to, like, tell people to not set their expectations high, but again, we're talking year one, man. We're talking year one. We're talking year one. Jesse Jacob says, I love Beamer, but to hear him say about goal line play, hindsight, you hand the ball off down the middle instead of a trick play. Shouldn't be hindsight, man. That was obvious real time with how we ran. Yeah, again, I'm not here to defend that play. That play call on the goal line was the worst play call I've ever seen. And I love the people that were like, well, the execution was off. He's open. You're asking a defensive end on 2nd and goal to make a perfect throw to the back corner of the end zone. It's just a stupid call. It's just a stupid call all the way around. I like Shane Beamer, obviously, guys. You know I do. I'm a Beamer guy. Stupid call. Stupid call. Got to learn from it. Got to learn from it because it was a stupid call. And you lost the game in that moment. You lost the game in that moment. I'll be honest with you, though. Outside of that play call, like, did I sit there and say play calling's the reason we lost? I mean, not necessarily. I mean, again, it's guys, it's not just one thing. It's not just one thing. The offensive pieces on this team are not very good. The offensive line stinks. The offensive line stinks, by the way. Stinks. Gamecock 68 in the TDC Questions channel says, regardless what happens the rest of the year, we have still won more games this year than we did last year. As far as I'm concerned, anything that happens from here is a positive. Indeed. Keith says, Rattler rumors already, talking about Spencer Rattler, Oklahoma quarterback. Don't care for him, not a good sport. I would take Spencer Rattler in a heartbeat. What a splash that would be for Shane Beamer in South Carolina. So, again, talking offensive line, the offense as a whole. Guys, it's very simple. It's very black and white. I spent 3+ months in the preseason saying it. If South Carolina cannot run the football consistently, they will struggle because they're not built to throw it 30, 40 times a game. And even though the last couple of weeks I've said, hey, fail fast. If you got to throw it, throw it. That's all fine and dandy. But you're not built to win that way. You're just not. I mean, guys, your passing game struggled last year, and you lost your best playmaker on the outside in Shi Smith. So what did you expect? Did you think the passing attack was just all of a sudden going to be elite? And so you can't run the ball. You ran for, 3.7 yards per carry yet again. I know you showed some promise late in the game, but you ran for 3.7 yards per carry. You're running for less than 4 yards per carry on the season. If you would have told me, guys, the rushing stats of the first 6 games, I probably would have told you we're 1-5. I mean, genuinely, I would have told you we're 1-5. So I know it's boring, but it all comes down to me to the offensive line. I mean, Luke Doty sacked 4 times and you run for 3.7 yards per carry. Proof's in the pudding. Proof's in the numbers. Numbers don't lie. They do sometimes, but I don't think in this scenario they do. You're asking Luke Doty, who is still a very, very green quarterback, to go win the games, and that's just not a recipe for success, in my opinion. It's just not. It's just not. So, again, how much of that falls on scheme? How much of that falls on play calling? But also, how much of it falls on execution? How much of it falls on personnel? I mean, was Mike Bobo just that good at dialing up the run play? I don't know. I mean, again, guys, it all has to get better. And Shane Beamer will make the decisions necessary. But to just blame play calling, it ain't just one thing, man. It's just, here's the thing. I think the reason fans do that, it's the low-hanging fruit. It's so easy to just blame the play caller. Nobody wants to blame the players. Nobody does. Nobody wants to blame the players. Everybody wants to blame the freaking play caller. And I get it. The play caller's the one getting paid, making tons of money. But hey, now, guys, NIL's a thing. The players are getting paid too. So let's all share the blame a little bit. How about everybody shares the blame, not just one guy? So 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. We have 166 comments lined up. So if you need a reason to join the Big Cock Club, join it today. You head over to TDC Questions, the TDC Questions channel. Your questions will be answered. So if you're trying to get your questions in right now, I suggest you put them in the TDC Questions channel because 169 giggity comments. Let's see. Let me just start scrolling here. Sean O'Brien, Chris has some dudes punching air right now, spitting facts. I make people punch air on a consistent basis, my friend. The Rattler rumors that potentially maybe he could hit the transfer portal. I mean, who knows, man? It's just rumors. Travis Hill says, I saw some different concepts and ideas, the willingness to try new things to generate offense. I didn't see consistency with what worked, though, and then some odd timing of some calls. I do agree with you. It feels like, Travis, we get in this scenario where we run a couple of successful plays, and you're like, oh, man, we got something going. And all of a sudden, we either shoot ourselves in the foot, we have a negative play, we get behind the sticks, and there it goes. That's all that momentum gone. So, top to bottom has got to be better. No, but again, we're spending all the time today talking offense, which is fine. But what about the defense? This was a team loss. This wasn't just an offensive loss. This was a team loss. Your defense got shredded in every sense of the word, guys. You gave up 247 yards on the ground. You made Hendon Hooker look like a Heisman Trophy winner. Your secondary, where do I even begin with your secondary? They looked as I expected in the preseason. I mean, listen, I understand your defense has done all they could through the first 5 weeks, but that was a team loss. That was a team loss, not just an individual loss. That was a team loss. Wow, Gamecocks have the 7:30 kickoff at Texas A&M. That's great. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. 7:30 on SEC Network. Yikes. That's going to be fun. That will be fun. That will be a lot of fun. That will be fun. All right, just getting this graphic up on social media, guys. Actually, we'll go ahead and take a break, and I'll go ahead and get this graphic up on Instagram. Townsend Hamilton's what's there to lose? Well, no, I don't know. Another game, I guess. You're talking Townsend. Let's throw Gauthier in there. Again, what is changing the quarterback going to do? What's it going to do? If Luke Doty's your starting quarterback, I don't understand changing the quarterback for the sake of doing it. I don't get changing the QB for the sake of doing it. Lance Player, what's up, my guy? He says, what up, Kill? I don't know what happened Saturday, but I do know I drank a lot. Hey, probably better that way. So, probably better that way. God, we got to wait all day long for that A&M game. We got to wait all freaking day long. I can't say I'm thrilled about that. Todd Taylor, your opinion, please. Is the offensive scheme and blocking scheme too complicated for the guys at this point in their game experience? Would more simple, basic plays make a difference? Like forget the trick plays and stuff. Yeah, I'd say no more trick plays on the goal line, Todd, for sure. No more trick plays on the goal line for sure. For the rest of it, I mean, we keep saying, oh, is it too complex? Is it this? Are our guys idiots? How complex can it be? You're a college football player playing on the offensive line. How complex can it be, man? Let's simplify it. I mean, do our guys know what 2 + 2 is? I mean, should we simplify it to that level? I mean, this is insanity, bro. Like, it's insane. What are we talking about? It's too complex. I mean, what are they doing, like arithmetic up on the line of scrimmage? How complex can it be, man? How complex can it really be? I don't know if it's complex, but I can tell you what I do see a lot of is our guys just getting their asses whipped up front. Getting physically whipped. Maybe they're just not that good. How about that? Guys, I'm fired up here on a Monday, of course, a Therapy Monday. Therapy Monday here, taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Want to continue to hear from you, your thoughts, overall takeaways, and what you think about what happened on Saturday in Knoxville. All that and more, guys, on the side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Continuing to take your questions, your comments, your calls as well. Also, if you're in the the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to TDC Questions, the TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered. Twan Love kicks. Muschamp's offense was way better. Twan Love kicks. If you're a Muschamp guy, then go pull for Georgia, bro. Ain't nobody holding a gun to your head to pull for South Carolina. Go follow Muschamp around. Yeah. Muschamp, offensive genius, he says. Right. Good one. Very good one. Boy, y'all forget how bad the Muschamp era was. Really, really, really do. I'm actually shocked at this point we have not had a call. I am shocked at that. Like, I really thought you guys would be calling in ready to kick the damn door down, to be honest with you. So I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised, I gotta say. Let's see. Somebody texts in, no more pressure on Greg Atkins. A lot of ugly to go around. There's still pressure on Greg Atkins. The offensive line looks like shit. Hey, Chris Colton here, man. I'm super bummed about that loss. I thought we put up a better fight at least. I'm all for Beamer. I love this coach, but I was wondering, what would it take for us to finally say enough is enough and try a new OC? The talent may not be there, but even the play calling baffles me. Let me stop. Let me stop to think here real quick. Oh, you know what it is, guys? I apologize. Wow. The phone lines aren't even open because I'm a slapdick. I'm a slapdick. I haven't even opened up the phone lines because I had them closed for voicemails yesterday. So now you can call in. My bad. Now you can call in. I apologize, guys. That's on me. I already gave myself slapdick of the weekend, so I guess I just carried that into Monday. Call back in. I saw somebody just left a voicemail. Call back in. So I don't know who this was, but call back in. Would love to have you call in. So we've had a couple of folks try to call in. 843-790-3377. Again, back to what that texter just said, the Colton, my man. And we'll get to the point in just a second.
Call from
Zachary.
Zachary, what's up, man? How are you?
Chris, I'm just going through some stuff, but I'll get through it. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm going through some stuff too. It's called South Carolina football.
I wish that was my only problem, man. I wish that was my only one, but I'll get to that. I'll focus on that one for this conversation. So my only problem is this is an imperfect football team. I feel like you have beaten the drum on this. I feel like you have beaten the drum on this. This is an imperfect football team. I don't know who expected a 10-win season, 11-win season, or whatever season they were expecting. But this is an imperfect football team. So I don't get – that's the first thing. My second problem is there's if we're talking about how imperfect the football team is, we'll just look at the roster. You just don't have depth. You don't have depth in key spots. At this point, I'm doubting some of the guys even fit the team, to be honest. I think we lack team speed overall, and that was already a problem. And it's like I don't know what people were expecting. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be mad or frustrated, but at the same time, I see people acting like they expected a multi-win season. That's all, really.
Yeah, no, and you make a good point, too. Hey, I'm not sitting there saying don't be frustrated and upset and demand more, but, yeah, I just think calling for heads, man, in year one is just foolish. I mean, we're 3-3. We're not 1-5. You know what I mean? So, I'm disappointed as hell with how the game played out Saturday. Heck, I picked us to win. You know what I mean? So, obviously, I'm very disappointed. I would have never in a million years expected us to go down 28-0, and that can't happen. But, so I definitely hear you, man. I agree.
I'm on the phone.
You still there, Zachary?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was mostly my complaint. I didn't understand why. I'm not saying people can't be mad, but I'm like, can people's perspective in all this? That's mostly my problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what I want. I just want the perspective. That's all I want, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for the call, Zachary. 843-790-3377. Yeah, perspective. Perspective and patience, two things that aren't very popular in year one of a new football coach, but you got to have it. What are you going to do, fire Beamer after 1 year and go get another guy? You're South Carolina. You don't have this standard and tradition of excellence. Travis Ford says, UT is an imperfect football team. Losers make excuses in games like that. Losing to Georgia, maybe even Kentucky is one thing. This is two dumpster fires. Dang it.
Call from
Dalton.
And we did get our break speed off this trivia. I'll get to your comment in a second.
To send a voicemail, press 2.
Dalton, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, how are you doing on this Monday?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's up?
So I wanted to call and sort of pose a hypothetical question to you, real quick. So I know that Shane Beamer, when we hired him, everybody was on board. I'm still with Shane Beamer, right? But I think the first couple games of this season have really shown how green this coaching staff is. Obviously, you keep on, harping on it. There are a lot of people who don't really understand that a first-year head coach is going to make mistakes. It's hard to defend a mistake like, doing a trick play, second and goal, in the first quarter of the Tennessee game. So that mistake is inexcusable. I hope I never see that from the Gamecocks ever again. But sort of what I'm thinking here is that, do you think that if we hired more of a veteran head coach, like during the preseason there was a lot of talk of Hugh Freeze or Bill Napier as potential head coaching candidates for South Carolina. Obviously we went with Shane Beamer, but right now LSU's, there's some talk that they might fire Coach O and hire Bill Napier. Do you think it would be better if we could have landed those veteran guys who have sort of more of a track record but aren't, as well liked by the fan base, that it would have panned out better than it has to this point?
So would we have a better record through 6 games if we would have hired a Billy Napier or a Chadwell or just somebody who had been a head coach before than a Shane Beamer? That's the question you're asking, correct?
Yes, more of a veteran guy, like
right.
more of a high profile guy.
I mean, maybe we're 4-2. I mean, maybe. I mean, I doubt it, but maybe we're 4-2. But we got the guy that we wanted, right? I mean, all I heard for 7-8 months was, there's nobody better, and we wanted Shane Beamer, and he's one of us, and welcome home, and you know what I mean? You can't switch up the energy now, man, 6 games in. And I'm not saying you are, but just overall, I mean, what happened? What happened to the energy? All I heard all preseason was how he was by far the best option we could have gotten. And, I mean, damn, you going to jump ship 6 games in? So, I mean, and you didn't hiring a coach for the short term. Like if you'd have hired Hugh Freeze, for example, I mean, yes, that would have been a splash hire, and he might have won big in the first 2-3 years. But no question, I think we all understand Hugh Freeze would have been looking to go somewhere else, a bigger job. So what good does it do you? So you chose to go the path you did, and that's the path you went. And so, I know it's a hypothetical. So maybe you're 4-2. Maybe you are. I mean, it's tough to say. But, hey, maybe you lose to East Carolina. Heck, I don't know. I mean, because players still have to play, right? I mean, the coach only does so much. Players have still got to play. But you are right, by the way, that, I mean, it's a football team coached by a bunch of first-time coaches. I mean, you hired, and I will say that's where I empathize with Gamecock fans. Like, if you're upset about, people are talking Satterfield and even Clayton White. I mean, you hired a pair of coordinators who had never called a play at the Power 5 level. So if that irks you, I empathize with Gamecock fans because I don't know that that's what we thought we were signing up for when we hired Shane Beamer. I think we thought we were going to get some really big-time, veteran, savvy play callers, right? And that's not me sitting here saying fire Satterfield or fire White or they're not going to be any good. I'm not sitting here saying that. Only time will tell. But I empathize with Gamecock fans if that's what the emotion is because, the entire staff as a whole was very improved. You thought that it was going to be, okay, Shane Beamer's never been a head coach, but he's going to surround himself with guys who have been coaches. And that didn't seem to be the case, did it? You know what I mean? Like, not at least the way we thought. But, again, all I heard from the same people that are complaining right now, all I heard all preseason was just how great of a hire it was, and we're going to give him time. We're going to be patient, this, that, whatever. And damn, 6 games in, they're ready to fire him. They're ready to, just clean house and start it over. And you can't build anything that way, man. You just can't. I mean, I don't know. I understand being upset. I appreciate people's passion, and I'm not saying be happy losing to Tennessee by 25 points. You can be upset with Saturday's result and also have perspective that, hey, we have a long way to go. And so this is the guy we hired, and so we kind of have to buckle in for the ride. You're not going to fire this guy 2 years in, are you? I mean, that's no way to build a program. That's how you end up like Florida State. So
one thing that sort of, helps me to keep this in perspective, so to speak, is that, with Shane Beamer, you have someone who wants to build something, right? That obviously that doesn't get you a record that you want, but if he can really turn this boat around and he's willing to be there for the long haul and he's not going to be, pulled away by like a, bigger job, maybe an LSU or an Auburn or a Georgia or a Florida or one of those jobs, then that's sort of what you're hoping for, what you're gambling on. Because the thing with South Carolina, and, I understand this, I don't like it very much, obviously. No South Carolina fan likes it. But the one thing you have to understand is that South Carolina is not a blue blood school. We're not one of those schools that's traditionally thought of as having the tradition with the capital T and the air quotes.
And not even close, by the way. I want to make that you're not even not only are you not thought of as a blue blood, you're thought of as a layup for most teams. Let's just call it for what it is. You are.
Yeah. So, I mean, the whole problem that we have is that it takes time to build something. You have to have a head coach and you have to have a head coaching staff that can do magic over a long period of time. And the problem is, if they can do magic, then you don't want them to leave for a better school than yours, right? Because, that money from Auburn, that Auburn job is really enticing. That, even like a Florida, a Bama, those jobs are incredibly enticing. It's harder to build a program at one of these mid-tier schools than it is to even build a program at like maybe a Sun Belt school or something like that, because you're playing with the big boys, but you don't have the same kind of, resources and the same kind of, aura around you as the big boys in the SEC do. So it's really hard to do that. And I sort of understand why Shane, like the sort of road that Shane Beamer has to have. And I'm not going to say that South Carolina fans should be okay with mediocrity and just losing every week, every conference game. But, the best chance you got is to take a gamble on somebody like Shane Beamer and hope it works out in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 110%, man. You got to rock and roll with the guy, dude. You got to rock and roll with him. And I think you make a lot of great points. And, hey, everybody else is trying to win too. So, like you said, talking about building a program, it's not easy. It's not easy. Everybody else is trying to win also. So.
But, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to call and pose that hypothetical. I know that, whenever any SEC coaching job comes up, there's always, speculation and rumors and whatnot. I overall still am on board with Shane Beamer. Marcus Satterfield, I think he's sort of maybe not on the hot seat, but if he continues this, this offensive production through, a year or two, maybe I could get on board with asking him to step down and maybe trying to find a new guy.
Yeah. I think that's very fair too. And you lead me to my next point. And Dalton, I'm going to take it off air, by the way, but I want you to make sure you stay tuned because I'm going to address what you said. I appreciate the call. But again, Dalton talking about Marcus Satterfield. Here's my takes on Satterfield. Okay. Because I think firing your offensive coordinator 6 games in is nuts. I think it's nuts, truly. Because how in the world, these are human beings, right? How are you going to go hire someone else who knows that you're under a cloud of, hey, if you don't get it done in 6 games, we're firing you? I mean, these are human beings that I know they make a lot of money. I get it. But just because you make a lot of money don't mean you're immune to real life challenges. I mean, they pick up their lives, they move their families, they start their kids in school in a new city, they get acclimated to new surroundings, then they're fired 6 games in. Nobody's going to want to take that job. Here's what you do, in my opinion. And I think this is very fair because, hey, like I said, Marcus Satterfield is still an unproven commodity. Very unproven. Very. He came in unproven, right? I'm giving, unless it's just a total train wreck the rest of the way out, I am giving Satterfield the rest of the season. No question. He's coming back next year. Guys, he's not getting fired. Nobody's getting fired year one. Maybe a Greg Atkins is let go. I don't see anybody getting fired year one. None of the big coordinators, obviously not Beamer. So Satterfield will come back next season. If the offense is this bad again next year, if you want to make a change at the end of year 2, I am completely fine with that. I'm totally fine with it. I have no issues with it. No issues with it. But firing a guy mid-season, year 1, or even after year 1, nobody's going to want to come to your school. No OC worth a damn, no matter the check, is going to want to come under that type of pressure. Nobody is. So, I mean, you can't turn chicken shit into chicken salad. And for lack of a better way of putting it, that's kind of what you're asking this coaching staff to do with Will Muschamp's roster. Again, is any other entity going to tell you that? Probably not, but that's how I see it. Not saying there aren't some good players on this team, but, man, still year 1. Still year 1. Not the guys they want. Do you think they would have signed every guy on our roster? Probably not. Probably not. Hey, guys, I've been a part of a coaching change. Again, not on the SEC level and not in football, but there's a huge transition. You think everybody's thrilled that Will Muschamp's not there anymore? You would be mistaken. You would be mistaken. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. Again, I appreciate Dalton calling in. By the way, guys, I didn't live through 0-21. I didn't live through 0-21. I'm 30. So, you know, I don't remember. I don't remember watching Carolina football when I was 8 years old. I don't. I didn't really become a fan or really appreciate what it meant until end of 2002, beginning of 2003. So, honestly, my family didn't grow up going to games. It was my grandfather that got me into it, but I don't recall 0-21 either, to be honest with you. But I do recall how it felt, like I said earlier, to get to 6 wins and how that just felt like the biggest deal ever. Getting to a bowl game was like the Mecca, you know. Never did we have these expectations of, you know, winning the SEC. God forbid. The goal was, let's get to 6 wins. Get to 6. Get to 6. That's it. Let's see. Aaron Hodges says, I think the hire was risky. You can't hire a guy like Beamer at South Carolina. It puts you behind the 8 ball for a few years. Well, Aaron, it's the guy you hired. So you got to be behind him 110%. Hey, I said this when he was hired. Guys, I love Shane Beamer. Love the hire. I think he's going to do great things at South Carolina if we can just give him some time. But, hey, if he doesn't, because it is a risk, right? Guy who's never been a head coach. And if we're looking back, if it's 5, 6 years from now, 7 years from now, and we say we haven't seen the progress we need to see, hey, we'll make the change. He's not immune from it. We'll make the change, and we'll go the veteran. We'll learn our lesson. Jump back to the phone lines. Justin, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Appreciate you asking. What's up?
So I just want, just listening to the comments, these people are on this fire Beamer or fire Satterfield. It's the same fans that also getting mad when the men's basketball team doesn't win 25 to 30 games a year. We've never been a powerhouse in basketball. So, I get it. I mean, as Gamecock fans, we expect a miracle. Like, we expect excellence, which is great. I mean, I don't expect the men's basketball team to go under 500. I think it's unacceptable. It's just, I don't know how people expect this miracle. I mean, we know what this team was last year, and we were dismal.
Mm.
I mean, our defense was, were they even on the field? I mean,
Right.
I mean, there were times where they were just non-existent. I mean, the Ole Miss game, for instance. I mean, I can't. How many plays they have over 50 yards in that game? I mean, wide open receivers down the seam. I mean, the team is playing more fundamental now. Offensively, I don't know how your guy doesn't know to put a hat on a hat. That one still I cannot figure out. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just block some dang body. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it, man. I hate it that fans are on this bandwagon of, hey, like, maybe we made the wrong hire. But I can tell you right now, my wife is an alum from Liberty, so we have football season tickets to Liberty. The only reason why Hugh Freeze is killing it right now, and people won't say this, is because he has Malik Willis, which is an Auburn transfer at quarterback. And the guy's a Cam Newton, a college version of Cam Newton. I mean, the guy is just, you can't tackle him. He's really great. But the reason why he's having success is because they're FBS independent, so they can play kind of like, like Troy. They play like Middle Tennessee State. They play a lot of lower talent, and then they have a really great quarterback that should be in the SEC playing. So it's the Hugh Freeze aspect of people like, we should have got him. No, man. Like I'm telling you, once Malik Willis goes to the draft this year, Liberty will fall off. You won't even hear Hugh Freeze. So I don't know, man. I guess I didn't really ask a question, but I just wish people would get off the ledge, man. I mean, I didn't even watch the game Saturday. I was at the Liberty homecoming game, but I kind of turned it on and I triple taked on my phone. I was like, 28-0. That's got to be like a typo, right? Like,
right.
We're 12 minutes in the game. It's 28-0. I'm like, that's right. That can't be correct. And I was like, wow, it really is.
Yeah.
So, I didn't watch the games. I think what I've seen through the first couple of games is Doty is very hesitant on far as, like, if you got to hold a run, man, just run. 4 to 5 yards is huge in this offense right now.
Yeah,
I
don't know if Doty's not trusting his foot. I don't know what it is. It's because I see that too as hesitance to run, and that's been my biggest disappointment with the offense outside of the obvious, which is the running game, but the quarterback run game not being more a part of what we do. I know a lot of that goes back to his injury and everything, but I really thought that he was close to 100%. I mean, we've been hearing it all season. At this point, I don't think he'll ever be 100%. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know that he will. So, I'd like to see Doty take off more if it's not there. He's obviously dropping back, and people are saying, well, he can't pull the trigger. He can't. Are people open? I mean, are you Twitter guru watching film and you're seeing that there are guys open that he's missing? I mean, come on. So I'm not going to sit there and say that he's not pulling the trigger when he should, because I don't know. Are they open? I don't know if they are. I really don't know.
I mean, if it goes back to, just from last year, with the receivers we had, we had the same receivers with, minus Shi Smith, but these are the guys we have on a wide receiver. They're not elite, man. They're just not. I'm not dogging them. They're just.
Bro, there's a reason. There's a reason this wide receiver room. I don't know. It's like some people just don't read what the national people say. There's a reason this receiver room was ranked 13th or 14th best in the SEC by basically every single preseason magazine. So
they're terrible. I know they try, but you got Joyner and dude, I've been on Joyner's wagon the entire time he's been here, man. Like, give him a chance. Muschamp never used them, and now it's like, well, now we know why they didn't.
Right.
He's inconsistent. I wish the guy would be better, but he's just not. And to throw the ball to him on 4th down situations is that's your best option. That says a lot about what's in your room.
Yeah, I'm recruiting the heck out of some receivers if I'm Justin Stepp and Shane Beamer. I can tell you that right now.
The only thing I will say is I get the aspect of people, are like, well, why can't, why do we have to wait to be good? Because there is rare occasions like, Mac Brown's kind of eating crow now in North Carolina this year, but he come into they were in a dumpster fire like we were. They get beat by, I think, 38 points by East Carolina the year before he,
Mhm.
they fired, the
Yeah.
year they fired their coach. I mean, he comes in and he wins 8 games.
Mhm.
I mean, and obviously Will Muschamp gets a win at Charlotte because we, look like a high school team that never played.
Yeah. And well, see, we're also already jumping to conclusions when we're only 6 games in. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how about we let it play out the rest of the way? You know what I'm saying? And what's so funny about it too is like all these people who are going nuts right now. If Carolina beats Clemson at the end of the year, all's forgiven. Nobody will even remember any of this. So.
Well, the comment I made, a guy was in the post like, "Hey, we need to change it up." Like Satterfield, I'm like, then my comment to him was, I'm a 911 dispatcher, man. So, I've been there for over a year and a half. I mean, every call is different. I still learn something new every day. So, if I was to go into that job and I didn't approve, if I didn't prove myself in 6 shifts and I got fired, dude, what are you supposed to do? You ain't got no time to prove anything.
Right. Yeah.
So, if people just forget, man, that like this team was bad last year. It was bad the year before, and we have the same players, man. Coaching has made them fundamentally better. Well, except for Austin Lyman, freaking terrible. But the defense is fundamentally better. I didn't watch the Tennessee game. It looks like we got pretty gashed by a pretty below average quarterback somehow. But I don't know, man. Like I just didn't expect to win. I expected 6-6. I don't think that's very doable at this point, just based on how we have looked. We haven't really made any progress.
Mm.
But I don't know, man. I'll leave with this, man. Like I said, with the Doty hesitation thing, man, I wonder how bad his ankle injury really is. Because, at first it was like, he just kind of sprained it. He just kind of tweaked it. We won't play him game, week 1. We don't really need, kind of like we don't really need him. But now, you get to Georgia and he played, and you're like, okay, well, it didn't seem like he was that hurt. And now this game's in, he's still not running read options.
Right.
Is it something that they're not telling us? Or, I don't know, man. It blows my mind that and when he doesn't run, we get 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8 to this offense is like
death.
3rd and 20.
Yeah, it's death. Yeah,
we're gonna die. We're gonna die at 3rd and 8 all year.
Yeah,
and
third and longs are death for this team. No question.
And 3rd and 4 is even. We can't run the ball. So even 3rd and 2 is like. Dude, you better run for 2 yards. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir, man.
Great stuff. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Guys, we're going to take another break. I'm going to leave you with this, though, to think about and ponder for the next 5 minutes. Just to be that guy, for those saying that South Carolina has regressed and made no progression, technically Saturday was probably your best game offensively, if not one of your best. You ran for 153 yards, which is the most you've ran for against an FBS opponent. Again, those are just statistics. That's not my opinion. Those are statistics. 370 total yards of offense, 153 yards on the ground. So do with that information what you will. I'm not saying things don't need to be better, but you technically did make progress on Saturday, whether it was beautiful progress or not. So want to hear your thoughts on that and more, guys, on the other side. 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls, and more. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. 843-790-3377. Tyrell 7 in the TDC Questions channel says, I don't think the record changes if you have a veteran guy. This coach is going to take some bumps. But, man, give the guy a break. We don't even have a losing record right now, and everyone wants him fired. Let the man get his team under him. He can recruit the players that will fit into his system. Keith says, if you call yourself a true fan and you can't see that this team is playing harder than it has the last couple of years, you're blind. This team seems to believe in Beamer and staff. So why shouldn't we? Twan Love Kicks. Who cares if the offense played better? You're getting soft to me, Chris. No, I'm not getting soft to you, Twan Loves Kicks. It's very stupid to exert fire this guy or fire that guy energy. It's silly, foolish. It's a waste of energy. Twan Love Kicks. Ain't nobody going nowhere, Twan Love. So you're going to be bitching every day. What's the point, man? What is the point? There's no point in it, man. We've played 6 games. For anybody to question me and think I'm going to switch up my energy because of, a certain coach or this or that, no, bro, you got the wrong one, Twan. You got the wrong one, my guy. I like Carolina football or love Carolina football more than I like Shane Beamer. I love Carolina football more than I like Marcus Satterfield. I love Carolina football more than I like Clayton White. But with that being said, if you can't have some perspective and you want to call for somebody to be fired in year one, you're an idiot. You're just an idiot. Sorry, you're an idiot. At least give it to the end of the season. That's all I'm saying. At least give it to the end of the year, man. 6 games in. Jump to the phone lines real quick.
From Rebecca Standard.
Rebecca, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Nice. What's on your mind?
One thing I'm mad about the game.
Yeah, I think we all are. I think it's safe to say we all are.
I had my hopes up on this game and everything. And I told all the people off that was a Tennessee Volunteer fan, and I told them, I said, even if we lost from y'all, that I'll still be a South Carolina fan until they lay me down in the ground. That's what I told them.
That's it. Love the energy. Love that energy.
And I got mad at the game when it was going on. I was to the point to punch a wall or something, break stuff. I mean, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to cool down, and I went outside. I mean, the whole thing made me mad.
Yeah, me and you both. Like I said, it was hard to not get a little upset watching that one on Saturday for sure.
Yeah, I was very that game really meant the world to me because I knew I had family and stuff like that, and I know how they are about rubbing it in and stuff like that. Even my pastor's wife is bad about rubbing that in. And see, last year she rubbed it in, and then I ain't heard from her today or this weekend or anything, but I would think that she ain't said nothing to me this year, which I'm glad.
I'm glad for you. I'm glad for you. So hopefully we can bounce back and beat the other Tennessee team that is Vandy this weekend. I think we got a good chance to do so. I'll say that.
I heard Vanderbilt was not that good this year.
They're not that good. They're not that good. So
I was asking my grandfather that. He said they ain't worth crap.
No, they're not very good. We should have some success on Saturday. We should.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to get it off my chest and tell you how I feel about the whole entire thing.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. This is the place to do so. So I appreciate you you calling in and venting on a Monday, and hey, we'll get through it together. Like you said, we're Gamecocks through and through, and I appreciate the call, Rebecca. Thank you so much. Let's jump to the other. We got another
Greg
call
Bettinger.
here. Let's see.
To accept.
Greg, what's going on, my guy? How are you?
Hey, Chris.
What's going on?
It's about time I called in.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. What's on your mind?
Well, I just want to set the record straight. We were a basketball powerhouse for about 15 years, 10 of them for sure, with Frank McGuire. So, Gamecock fans just need to know their history. We were very, very good for a long time. But as far as Saturday, I missed the first half, or mostly the first quarter, which obviously I was shocked when I got to sit down to look at the game. But thought we played pretty good on offense in the second half. But our O-line is hurting us, and the D hurt us Saturday. But, yeah, as far as coaches, man, we just got to hang in there. You're right. Every time we talk about this, you nail it on the head. We just got to be patient, and I don't know what people expected, considering not only were we 2-8, we had a terrible recruiting class because of firing Muschamp, and a lot of pretty good players left in the portal. But anyway, just love the show. You know I do, and keep up the good work, my friend. Hopefully I'll see you at the game soon.
Greg, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All the best. Bye.
Yep, you too. Bye. 843-790-3377. Guys, let me ask you this, by the way. Let me ask you this, and this is coming from someone who was the fire the coach guy for better part of a year and a half or so. But why is it in the culture of football, in football fandom, every time a team loses a game, heads must roll? Heads must roll. Why is it every single time? Like, you can't lose a game without fans wanting to fire someone. Why is that a thing? I'm genuinely asking the question. And by the way, Twan, I'm not giving you moral victories. I'm giving nobody moral victories. Hey, listen, and I said that in the postgame. If you actually watch the content, you might actually know what I'm talking about. But postgame, I said, listen, you fought back, you battled, you played hard. But there are no moral victories here. You got your ass beat, right? I'm not excusing what happened. I'm giving you statistics. Hey, statistically speaking, you had your best rushing day against an FBS opponent this season. That's just a fact. That's statistics. I'm not formulating that opinion, which, by the way, if you keep seeing me look up, I've got the Braves game on the TV. So nothing, bottom of the first. Go Bravos. But there are no moral victories. I totally agree. But again, guys, it's just what – I ask you this question. What – and hey, hold people accountable. They're getting paid millions of dollars. Hey, you got to be better. Marcus Satterfield, you got to be better. You have got to be better. Everyone top to bottom, you got to be better. Clayton White's got to be better, guys. Defense looked like shit. Why are we not talking about how bad the defense looked? Why are we just forgetting that side of the ball happened? Why? Defense looked terrible. They've been great all year. Give them credit, but they looked terrible on Saturday. Everyone should be held accountable, not just offense. And again, there are no moral victories, but I just don't get I don't understand the point of exerting the fire anyone energy, because it ain't happening, guys. And again, the same ones that are saying fire anybody or just are throwing that out there, y'all the same ones that had the energy all preseason of, oh man, you're crying over every hype video Gamecock football post. Like, give me a break, dude. Spare me with it. Ain't nobody out here preaching moral victories, bro. Ain't nobody out here preaching moral victories, but it's you got to have some sense of, I mean, it is year one, is it not? It is you're 3-3, you're not 1-5. So, listen, did Saturday suck? Sure. Hell yeah, it did. Obviously it did. But still a lot on the table, believe it or not. And do I think necessarily it's going to happen that you're going to make a bowl game? Not necessarily, but you still possibly could. Hey, you can get to 4 wins on Saturday, which guess what, guys? Guess what? You can get to 4 wins, and that hits the over in Vegas. Whether you want to celebrate that or not, It's true. I guess Vegas knew what the hell they were talking about. Shocker. 3.5. The 3.5 was the number. I think the rest of the way out, games that are winnable, hey, look at Mizzou. That's a winnable game. Who knows with the Clemson game? Maybe a Florida. I don't think so, but maybe. Maybe an Auburn at home with the emotions running with Mike Bobo. Maybe. I mean, we're 6 games in, man. People want to pull the plug already. Some of you do. Not many, by the way. It's not many. I'd probably say 2%. 2% want to pull the plug. 2%. 2%. 2%. So, Wyatt Williams giving up 28 points first quarter was horrific. Yeah, it was. It was. You had no answer. Travis Ford is up in his feelings today, son. Travis, why don't you call in one day? Call in. Call in. Coach Ford, will you please call in? I would love to hear Coach Ford call in today. Or at any point, by the way. Any point. Elvis Black rocking the Clem Sucks shirt. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Love that. Love that. Noah Johns, again, I'm not justifying the goal line play call. It was probably the worst play call I've ever seen. Terrible. Terrible play call. So, I agree with you. It was awful. It was awful. Justin Kyle says, I hate to really use the transfer portal, but do with this roster, we need to hit it hard, especially on the wide receiver side. I agree. I agree with you 110%. I agree. Yeah, somebody asked me about Ray Tanner earlier. Guys, if you're blaming Ray Tanner at this point, it's just lazy. It's lazy, man. That's such a lazy take. Ray Tanner's an athletic director. He's not coaching anymore. So, Travis Ford makes the point, you're delusional to think we beat anyone other than Vandy and Mizzou. Travis, if you go 5-7, was that a bad year? Educate me. Learn me something. I mean, I think 5-7 is about what was expected for this football team. I know I picked 6-6, but realistically, I think 5-7 was probably the landing spot. So if you go 5-7 in year one, I mean, did you have a miserable season? I wouldn't say so. Year one of a new head coach, you're a game away from making a bowl. I don't think you had a horrid year. I mean, again, maybe I'm wrong, but Liam Carney says Tennessee can be a great teaching point for players. This is where you are. My fear from hearing Coach B is how much of that reality is getting put on the week to week, but that game really said enough. Ray Tanner's a garbage AD also. Thank you for your input, Liam. Thank you. Elizabeth Ballard, disappointing loss, but fun to be at the watch party. Yeah, Elizabeth, thank you for coming out again. All those that came out to the Somerville location, Kona Ale House, thank you guys so much. We had a really, really good time. So, Justin Kyle got spoiled from Spurrier. Now that we have a dumpster fire from Muschamp, we can't win every single game. Want to cry and call people's heads. Travis Ford, 5-7 is what I picked. It looks like 5-7 again next year, too. How do you know? Again, Coach Ford. Give me a call, Coach Ford. Damn, you ought to start your own podcast, Travis. You got so many damn opinions. Why don't you go start your own show? You put me out of business. Hey, again, I respect all the opinions, man. Maybe you're right. Maybe this coaching staff, maybe this entire staff from Beamer down's total dog shit. And they don't deserve to be in the positions they're in. But it's too early to tell, man. It's too early to tell. You don't know. You don't have the answers. I don't even have the answers. You don't know. Luke RJ says our offensive stats are better because Tennessee let up and the game was over after the first quarter. I'm just throwing the stats out there, Luke RJ. Whether that's the case or not, I'm just giving you the statistics. I'm giving you the statistics. That's it. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Let's see. Wyatt Williams, the worst takeaway I had from the postgame conference was the fact the trick play at the goal line was predetermined. That is not smart. I'll be honest with you, I didn't like that either. Yeah, you got to be able to call plays within the flow of the game. That was a bad play call, guys. I'm not sitting here telling you it was. That it wasn't. It was a horrid play call. That was a terrible, terrible play call. No question. No question. Justin Kyle says 5-7 will be a good season to me, and I think would be huge in recruiting as a pitch to say, hey, I came into a bad situation, was still able to win games. Again, guys, like I told you, and you all just forgot everything I said in the preseason, which is fine. You can tell Travis Ford hadn't listened to a minute of the podcast. He ain't listened to a second of the podcast. We said it all preseason. Year one was not about winning 6, 7, 8, 9 games. That's not what it was about. It was about how you play. And, hey, if you want to say the penalties and the lack of discipline, you want to point, that's fine. Hey, that's a very fair, valid concern. But the number one goal of this season was to get to next preseason with the same positive energy and momentum that you had this past preseason, or at least damn near close to it. Hey, if recruiting starts to fall off, then you can worry. But as long as recruiting is there and you're getting good football players, quality football players, then you're building this thing. And I think you're going the right way. Again, what you're banking on, what you're hoping for, is that over time, over the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, as time passes and as games go by, Shane Beamer is going to evolve into a great head coach. And as that's happening, the roster is also going to improve. Again, has the coaching been perfect? No, it has not. It certainly hasn't been. But to blame it all on that one thing, like you guys act like if Nick Saban was the head coach of this team, they'd be 5-0, 6-0, is lunacy. It's pure lunacy. Truly. Not just one thing. It's not just one thing. As somebody said earlier in the chat, I wish it was just one thing. I wish there was just one problem, but there's not. There's not. There's not. So again, you're not going to get the fire energy from me. It was a shitty game. It sucked. There's a lot of areas you got to improve. There's a lot of areas you got to do a better job. But hey, if you're going to talk about the problem, you know what people love to do? They love to present the problem without a solution. Present me a solution.
Call from
Braddock.
Yo, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, Chris. Good. I wanted to call and ask. The biggest thing. I'm not fired the staff. I'm a diehard Carolina fan, but I want to know what's your take on what is Carolina football like? What's our identity? What are we? Because we can't out Florida. We can't out Georgia. We got to have some kind of, I don't know, spread. You know, Spurrier had the fun and gun, and I just don't see it. I don't know what we are. Are we a running team? Are we a passing team? Do we get the tight ends involved? It's just, and that is what's concerning to me. You know, I'm excited. I want to see Beamer, you know, do his thing. Hell, I'd love for him to bring Beamer ball, but I don't know if he's going to follow his dad's footsteps or he wants his own identity. But that to me is what I'm, looking for, I guess.
Yeah. What is the identity? What do they want to do? I mean, I'd have to imagine between the combo, let's say Satterfield's here, the combo of Beamer and Satterfield, they want to do some sort of mix of Oklahoma and what Joe Brady presented in the passing concept. I would have to imagine, right? I mean, that's if Beamer's pulling from his past experiences, they want to run that type of team. Well, Oklahoma can run the football. I can tell you that right now. And you want to talk about the passing concept? We ain't got the guys to pass the football like that. So do we have the personnel to run or be the team that they want to be, the identity? I doubt it. But that's a very valid question. That's a very valid question.
And that'll be my gauge. I mean, let's see the people he brings in and when he recruits and we'll – I mean, you're right. Get through this season. Try to hold on to what you got. change that culture. I think that's the biggest thing. Change the culture. And you're seeing the hustle in the guys out there. I think he does need to clean up these penalties, but change that culture, and then we'll get a good gauge of when he starts to bring in his players and see what he's all about. But yeah, I agree with you. We're not firing anyone, and let's see what happens. Got another half season to go, but enjoy the show and just wanted to call in and add that to it. Thanks.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the call. Hey, all very valid, fair questions. All very valid questions. Fair questions for sure. What is the identity? You haven't found one. Still haven't found one. But guys, this team's identity was supposed to be running the football, and the fact they can't do it, I'm not shocked you don't have an identity. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. You can't run the football. This team's not built to pass it 40 times a game. They're not. You don't have the playmakers on the outside. I mean, hey, as much as we like Josh Van Leon, he's disappeared. I think he's getting taken away by defenses. So I'm not shocked you're having offensive struggles. Guys, you can't run the ball. You can't run the ball. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Let's see. Yep, 6 games and 1 offseason. We're supposed to have our top-notch identity. I don't know. Justin Kyle says, as much as I hate Kentucky and Stoops, if Stoops can make Kentucky relevant, then there is hope with Beamer. He changed the culture there, play physical and believe in yourself. They don't get huge recruits. Yeah, dude, it can be done here, Justin. It can be done, but it ain't going to happen overnight. I can tell you that. It ain't going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. I fully 110% believe it can be done, but it ain't going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. You got to go out and get Jimmys and Joes. You got to go recruit, bottom line. Got to go recruit. Got to go recruit. So, it's just funny, man. Like, I just think fans, they want to try to poke holes in this, poke holes in that. It's like, why? Fans, again, just cannot accept, like, hey, you just got your ass whooped Saturday. You showed up, wasn't your day, you didn't play well, you didn't execute, and you got beat. And that's it. Boop, end of story. That should be the whole podcast. A 30-second podcast. So, but Marcus Satterfield's not getting fired, guys. It's not happening. It's not happening. So, adjustments have to be made, no question. I've been saying that over and over again. And trust me, I'm tired of saying it. You think I enjoyed watching us go down 28-0? No, I did not. Joe Anders, defense has been exposed. The teams are using the wide receiver screen to spread out the field so they can run the ball. If we could score points, teams wouldn't be able to find success without trying to push the ball downfield more than they do. Yeah, and also I think somebody said earlier, the defense was gassed. Bro, Tennessee was freaking shoving around, pushing around South Carolina, having their way with the defense from the first drive. So, come on. They weren't gassed. They just got beat. They got dominated. It was a bad day. Defense got exposed a little bit. Yeah, for sure. Defense got exposed a little bit. Travis Ford, overhaul has to be made. Yeah, then you know what? Just fire everybody. Yep, fire them all. We'll just wipe the slate clean, start new going into Vandy. What a joke, dude. What a joke. What a joke. All right, I'm going to stop reading Travis's comments. So, Travis, you can comment all you want, but if you don't say something smart, I'm not going to read it, bro. I'm just done with it. It really ain't the content that I want to talk about. It's not the content anybody else really wants to hear about. Because it's dumb. It's not a solution. It's not a solution to fire everyone. That's not a solution. That's not a solution. Justin Kyle, honestly, the game Saturday was the first game I honestly felt that coaches were a huge part of the blame. We didn't coach well Saturday. Justin, nobody's saying we coached well. We didn't coach well Saturday. We didn't. We did not coach well. We also didn't play well. It was a disaster top to bottom. Bad game top to bottom. Is it an indictment on the rest of Shane Beamer's tenure at South Carolina? No game in year one is. No game. My guy Cody Gaskins in the super chat. Cody, appreciate you, my dude. Thank you. My man Cody with the love. Let's jump back to the phone lines real
Call
quick.
from
Justin.
Justin, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing good. How you doing, Chris?
I'm pretty well, man. What's going on?
Not much. Hey, Chris, I was kind of pissed off last Saturday. I mean, Chris, I still can't get over that goal line, you know?
Yeah, that was a stupid call. Trust me, I was mind blown as well. I mean, I couldn't believe what I saw. So.
Yeah, hey, Chris, I got something, man. I mean, I don't know what the soccer football programs have. I just don't know.
You said what now? You don't know about what the program is what now?
I don't know if this football program if this offense had the West or the one Western.
Well, the offense needs to get better. Like I said, there's no question the offense has got to get better. There's nobody that's happy and content with the offense. But again, you got beat in every facet of the game, every phase of the game. It was a miserable day start to finish for every phase, maybe outside of special teams.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Chris, do you think soccer's gonna look at? Do you think they're gonna look at Spencer Rattler next season? What are your thoughts on that?
If they're doing what now?
Do you think soccer gonna look at Spencer Rattler next season?
Spencer Rattler, I'd take him in a heartbeat. I don't know if they're going to. I mean, it's not, there's obvious reasons why you think it would make sense, but I'd take him in a heartbeat personally, man. Go get the best possible players. That's it. Go get your best possible players. And I love Luke Doty, but Spencer Rattler is a legitimate big-time 5-star guy. I'd go get him. So
yeah, because Chris. I hope has Shabby been talking lately too?
Has Shane been talking lately? You said?
Has Shabby been talking to Spencer Rattler lately? Do you know
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's true, Chris. And Chris, my guy, do you believe Nick lost to Jibble Fisher?
Wild. Yeah, that was a crazy game, man. I think I took Bama minus 18.5, so that was obviously a great pick. But no, that was crazy. Nobody saw it coming. I don't know. I don't know where that A&M team has been all season long, but that was wild. What a great day of college football it was.
Yeah, and Chris, the thing about Nick Saban, he could not escape,
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a wild game, man. And, Aggie Land was rocking, and, we'll have to go there in 2 weeks and take it on. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's true, Chris. Well, Chris, that's all I have to say, man.
Justin, I appreciate you calling in, my friend. Thanks so much.
All right, take care.
Take care. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Here we go. We got a text. I think we're all disappointed in the way the Tennessee game turned out. Just shows how much this staff's going to have to recruit to build this program. I did see some pulses from our run game this weekend. But I think 5-7, which was my preseason prediction, still very attainable with what we have. Missouri's not looking good at all, and Vandy's Vandy. Looking forward to this weekend. I have nothing but positivity. Thank goodness we have Vandy this weekend. If we take care of business this weekend, we're 4-3. Hope this team keeps grinding and finds a way to beat Mizzou and get an upset somewhere. Shoot, let us beat a struggling Clemson team at home this year, and that will undo all the negativity we have seen earlier this season. Beat Vandy. Go Cox. Hey, guess what, guys? You're very rational and normal if you're upset with how Saturday went. I'm not saying don't be upset. I'm not saying that. But also, just while you're upset, keep in mind, I'm pissed off. I'm upset. It's got to get better. We demand better. We expect better. You've got to improve. While also saying it's year one and we're in it for the long haul. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like the you know what the wrong response is to make emotional decisions after week 6 of year one. That just, and again, the beautiful thing is that all the people in the comments and all the people on social media, they're not in charge. Shane Beamer is. So whatever Coach Beamer decides to do, whether that's demote Marcus Satterfield or give him a 2-year extension, you got it, guys. You don't have a choice unless you're going to trade in your fan card. You got to rock and roll with this guy. You just have to. You got to hitch your wagon to this guy. You don't have a choice. Do you? I mean, you just don't have a choice. So you have to believe that while things are ugly in the short term, they will be better in the long term. You have to believe that. You have to. I'm not trying to pump false sunshine to you, but you knew when you hired him, nobody thought it was going to be a 2-year turnaround or even a year turnaround. And I kept hearing the people in the preseason. Some of them I'm friends with, very close friends with, that, man, things are just different in that building, man. The energy and the welcome home and the culture and the buy-in. And I'm like, that's why I kept saying, guys, hey, that stuff's all great and everything, and it's something you need to build a program, but it's the same team that had won 6 combined games the last 2 seasons. For anyone to think that in year one, just because you love each other and everybody's best friends now, that we're going to go out and win football games week to week to week, and we're going to be something we're not, it was wishful thinking the entire time. Hope springs eternal in the offseason. That's why they say that. Because everybody's 0-0 and all your hopes and dreams are still out there. Then the season gets going and you get kicked in the face and reality sets in. Twan Love Kicks, I got a serious question, Chris. Or I got a question. He didn't say serious, so who knows. He says, how long will it take Beamer to learn how to coach? 3, 4, maybe 5 years? Hey, Will Muschamp got 5, Twan Love, so I'd say you got to give Beamer 10. I mean, whatever, dude. What do you got to lose at this point? Hey, guess what? If you give him however long you give him and it fails, well, Carolina football's right back where it started anyways. You don't have some tradition to uphold. You're right back where you started. You're a 500 program. So, I mean, technically you're right where the program's always been right now at 3-3. What are you doing right now that Carolina football has never done? Again, I'm not saying don't be pissed off at what happened. I'm pissed off. You can't fall down freaking 28-0. You can't look hapless on the defensive side out the gate. You got to do a better job of setting a tempo early with the offense. You can't call stupid plays on the goal line and coach yourself out of the game. But with that being said, it's early on in the process. Weird, dumb things are going to happen, and that's just where we are right now. You are who you are. We are a 3-3 football team. We're a football team working with Will Muschamp's roster with a bunch of first-year coaches, and that's who we are. You can either accept that or you can't. That's who we are. It's okay, but that's who we are. So, hey, good news is this. You got Vanderbilt this weekend, and you got them at home. Opportunity to bounce back. Opportunity to have some good things happen. Maybe an opportunity to build some offensive momentum. Who knows? But you are who you are right now. You are who you are. And hey, I'm here to eat crow on a Monday, guys. I picked us to win, which was a stupid pick. And that's why if you listen to the podcast, by the way, which dropped this morning, I named myself the slapdick of the weekend. Yep. I am the slapdick of the weekend because I set improper expectations for all of Gamecock Nation when I picked South Carolina to win. I did. I felt it in my gut. I thought maybe, just maybe, South Carolina was able to pull some things from Troy, and maybe we're gonna have no way Tennessee plays as good that good back-to-back weeks, and defensively we can hang our hat on the defense. They're gonna force some turnovers. I thought maybe, just maybe, that offensively we'd be able to do enough, muddy the game up a little bit. But I was wrong. I was very wrong. And I set very improper expectations, guys. And for that, I apologize. I set improper expectations for the football game. I made a horrific pick. So I am the slapdick of the weekend. I'll own it. I made a horrid pick. Terrible pick. Should have never picked South Carolina. That was a stupid pick on my end. So that's it. Bottom line. I deserved all the Tennessee fans in my comments on Saturday. I did. I deserved it all. Tyrell Campbell Sr. says there's been a vast improvement from this year to last year. It's not on Satterfield. No overhaul needed. Let Beamer do the job he was hired for and get off of him. We knew there was going to be a learning curve. Just a quick question, though. Can we turn off the Coach Ford show? It's off, my friend. It's off. It's off. Luke RJ says, let's talk about that. I have been telling some of your friends your picks, and they lost this week bad. Luke, I mean, if you're playing my picks, then hey, we've been dog shit since week 1, Luke. It's called gambling. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you, man. I don't know what else to tell you, Luke. I can tell you, you will not be receiving any compensation from me. Play my picks at your own risk. Or you could just fade me every week and you probably win a ton of money. So. John Arthur says, I think you're setting improper expectations by saying Auburn and Florida are swing games. I wouldn't label them as, I'm saying maybe, just maybe, I don't know, college football is crazy, you never know, but I wouldn't be picking those as wins, John. I picked them as swing games in the preseason. Now, that's changed now, though. That's changed now. So, again, 843-790-3377, guys. It's 843-790-3377. Let's see what we got. Nothing, top of the third. 107 first pitch. What a first pitch. Mohammed says, the question is this, though. Hasn't Tennessee gone through the same staff changes and players leaving the program? Is it really irrational to ask for 6 wins for this Carolina team? I mean, I picked 6-6. I did. I picked 6-6. You had 4 swing games that were going to determine your season, Mohammed, or determine bowl eligibility if you're going to get there. In the preseason, now these are my 4. Kentucky, Tennessee, Mizzou, and Auburn. You still got 2 of them left. I mean, Auburn doesn't look anything like it did early or before the season. But 6 is actually still possible, believe it or not. It actually is still possible. Hey, you could beat Clemson, God forbid. I don't even know if I want to say that after what we just saw on Saturday, but you could. How bad they've looked. You could. It's not like it's impossible. So I mean, if you, let me say this. If something crazy does happen, let's say this is how the season goes. You beat Vandy, you beat Mizzou. Who do you beat? Who's another team you might beat? Clemson? I mean, if you find a way to finish 6-6, or even if you go 5-7, I mean, will people look back in the postseason and say, oh, this season was a disaster? I mean, you've done kind of exactly what people expected you to do. I'm not saying be happy about it, but year 1, if you go 5-7, guys, you actually overachieved. You overachieved. If you go 5-7, you overachieved according to Vegas. So yeah, again, I sit here on a Monday. Saturday sucked, no question. It was awful. It was awful. There's no other way to put it. Falling down 28-0. But no game, win or loss in year 1 is an indictment on the future of the program under Shane Beamer. Year 1 is year 1. Guys, many people were labeling this as year 0. So, I mean, people just, they want immediate gratification. They want to know the conclusion. They want to know the end of the story before they even start reading the book. We just don't know. That's the bottom line. We don't know. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. Twan Love Kicks. I'm not predicting we get to 6 wins. I'm not predicting we get to 6 wins. But I'm saying, is it possible? I mean, there's 6 more games to go and we're 3-3. I don't know. I don't know. Pete says, this is the only Gamecocks page I follow anymore. All the rest just talk about Clemson 95% of the time. Thanks for the spot on assessment. These fans who are calling for Beamer's head after 6 games can go find another team. I don't know why people would spend their time talking about Clemson. Like, they're not our team. Who gives a damn? We'll talk about them when Thanksgiving week comes, but other than that, I mean, what's the point, bro? I don't really give a damn what's going on up there. Let's see. Lee, however you say it, just wish Beamer would have just owned it during post game, admit the offense sucks and we made mistakes, learn from it, and move on. I will say the answer was auspicious. It was auspicious for sure. I'm behind Beamer 110%, but it was a bad call. That was a bad call on the goal line. You lost the game in that moment. It was a bad call. All right, let's jump back to the phone line.
Call from
Robbie Davis.
Robbie, what's going on, my man? How are you?
I'm doing good. It's definitely hard on this Monday after the absolute destruction of our team Saturday afternoon. But like I have told you earlier this year, someone's got to win and someone's got to lose, and Saturday just was not our day. Period. Saturday just was not our day, and Tennessee beat us like a drum.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. They certainly did, and you got ambushed, and it was a nightmare start, and there was just no recovering from it. So, yeah, you fall down 28-0 on the road. That's pretty much a recipe for a guaranteed loss. So,
we just gotta we just gotta keep moving forward, because like I look at it this way: sports, in a way, in my opinion, teaches you about life, because you have your ups and you have your downs. And so I just think it's kind of crazy that people are going crazy over all this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, nobody wants to give any other team credit for anything, even though the teams you've lost to are combined, I think like 16-2 or something like that. I don't know, something weird. So I don't know, man. It's just we just suck, and nobody else is worth a damn. But it's just we just suck. I mean, I'm not saying we're a great football team by any means,
right.
But I mean, God, dude, give Kentucky some credit, for the love of God. Please give Kentucky some credit. When they're 6-0 and they're a top 15 team.
We had chances to win against Kentucky. We just didn't capitalize off the turnover.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said after the Kentucky game, if we'd have capitalized off of those 3 turnovers, I believe we'd have beat Kentucky by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and bad football teams don't capitalize in those moments. We do a lot of things that bad football teams do. That's what we do.
And I truly believe until we iron all those out, this is what we're going to get. I hate to say it, but until we iron all this mess out, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too, man. Is fans, are being fans, whatever. But I mean this is not the last beat down we're probably going to take this year. So 2 weeks in College Station, probably going to be ugly. Call it for what it is. So
yeah, it's probably going to be worse than the Tennessee game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a score right now and just be straight up honest, I wouldn't be surprised if A&M scored 50.
Yeah, and
again, right now they're much better than we are.
Yeah, I mean we'll talk about A&M more next week, obviously, but yeah, it's gonna be a challenge. That's for sure. It's gonna be a challenge.
All right, you have a good one, all right?
Robbie, I appreciate the call as always, my friend. Thank you so much. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. So John Gibbs says, Shane Beamer has my energy and confidence for at least the next 4 years. We'll know within 5 years where we are headed. He at least needs to get his players in there to even have an opinion. Justin Martin, I appreciate you. Derek Gainey, Spurrier was 6-6 his third year at South Carolina. Guys, Spurrier was 3-3 to start his first year at the University of South Carolina, and his 7th game was Vanderbilt. So weird how things work out that way. I don't know. I'm not telling you he's Steve Spurrier, but whatever. All right, one more call here.
Call from
John.
John, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
you just mentioned giving Kentucky some credit. Do you think where they are right now totally has to do with that decal on their helmet? Because, I mean, can you honestly remember a 6-0, 4-0 in the conference team that in the SEC that's not ranked in the top 10?
Oh, you're saying where they're ranked in the top 25. Yeah, no, I think a lot of it does have to do with the fact, of the decal and, for sure. Yeah, Kentucky's not getting any respect. And, I mean, I'll tell you this, too. Like, do I think Kentucky's like a playoff contender? I mean, I don't think they're going to beat Georgia. Like, I don't think are they a good football team? Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah. You're not 6-0 by luck. You know what I mean? You can say whatever you want, but you're not 6-0 by chance and luck. So, I mean, that's just what I try to tell Carolina fans. It's like, dude, let's stop pretending like they're 6-0 but should be 2-4. Like, no, they're 6-0 for a reason. You know, they're 6-0 for a reason. So,
I mean, this is the first year that I've actually looked at the breakdown of where each AP voter actually puts their team, and I couldn't believe what I was looking at. Mm-hmm. There's one guy that covers Wisconsin that ranked Kentucky 15th last week and ranked them 16th this week after a win, and has a two-loss Arkansas team ahead of Kentucky. And I'm like, in week 6, after 6 games, you can't rank any two-loss team in the top 15 after 6 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'd agree with you, man. I think it's got a lot to do with quote unquote history and tradition and the UK logo. I definitely think you're onto something there.
Well, like I said, I don't think they'll beat Georgia either, but they're undefeated, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you never know. Never know. The game's in Athens, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, I mean, obviously, I would not be shocked at all if Georgia comes out and beats them by 20, 25 points. But
Georgia's on a different level, man. I picked Georgia to win the damn national title in the preseason. So,
but I mean, honestly, think about this: who would have thought that in Week 7, the Georgia-Kentucky game would be for sole possession of first place in the SEC?
Dude, it's insane. It's wild.
So anyway, all right, thanks.
So, I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for the call. Great stuff, guys. Great show here on a Monday. Appreciate you all tuning in. Going to go ahead and wrap it up. We are looking at 2:01 right now. Luke RJ, we'll take one last question. What did you think Beamer was saying? The play calling was good and got mad at Gene. What did I think about him doing that? I think that Shane Beamer just got very frustrated. He's in the heat of the moment right after battle and just got irritated. So he'll learn how to deal with the media and get better dealing with the media as he goes as a head coach. But, yeah, man, losing's not fun. Not even for Shane Beamer. Guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Like I said, go check out the podcast this morning if you have not done so. Episode 515, breaking down the Tennessee game, as well as a great interview, by the way, a throwback interview with former Gamecock second baseman and current assistant coach Scott Wingo. Stay tuned to all the content this week, guys. Of course, the podcast, the Daily Crow, everything rolling on. You guys know the drill. Hey, have a great rest of your Monday. Appreciate you all tuning in, and we'll talk